Hey everyone, this is Ben with Easy Mode Media, the solar marketing specialist. Now, what I want to go over today in this very short video is a comment I had from someone on social media. So this is on a renewable energy group, and I asked the question, it's like, what's your biggest frustration when it comes to marketing agencies and lead generation agencies? Um, it's not hard to find people that aren't satisfied with marketers and marketing agencies and freelancers that do lead generation or sell lead lists. Um, and I already kind of knew the answer before I asked this question, but I wanted to kind of get some stories, some information from people and their past experiences when it comes to these marketing agencies doing lead gen. So I've blocked out the commenter's name for privacy, but in our experience, the leads generated by some agencies are totally worthless. So basically, that shows that you might be getting good lead volume, the cost per lead might be great, but if they're low quality leads, who cares about cost per lead? If your cost per lead is $10 or $20 and your cost per acquisition is infinity dollars because you don't close any jobs, who cares? They're bad leads. So cost per lead is one term that solar companies like to chuck around, and everyone likes to chuck around, like lead gen marketing agencies, but they don't go that one step further and say, hey, here's our cost per acquisition. Because really, when it comes down to it, that's what matters, right? It's how much does it cost to get a job, because that's when you can generate your ROI, right? That's how you get your ROI. So if you're not closing the jobs, the leads are terrible. Okay. So in our case, we were looking for dealers for our mobile solar trailer. So a little bit different. It's not residential solar, but the basic principle of lead quality remains the same, right? Most of these supposed leads will not answer their phone or return a phone call. So typically, when we're talking about leads or lead generation, lead lists, if you don't have a way to make sure the phone number is real, there's several different ways to do that, then it's not going to be a good lead, right? If you can't get onto them and make a phone call, likely, yeah, something's wrong. You always get multiple different ways to contact them. So, address, phone number, email address from the leads, or you should. But if you don't have multiple ways to contact them, people kind of make mistakes, enter their phone number incorrectly. So it doesn't necessarily mean the lead is bad, but if you can't contact them any way, then once again, who cares, right? So absolutely worthless. So my kind of response to that was, how was the marketing agency ensuring that these leads were actually leads? So if you go into freelance platforms like Fiverr, you can see a whole bunch of sellers selling solar leads, but what that actually is just homeowner information. They go to Google Maps, they look at the like homes and houses and roofs that have the potential for solar, so no shading, good surface area to put panels on, and all that kind of stuff. And then they can do what's called skip tracing and generate lead information from that. But it's still cold leads, right? It's a way of generating cold leads, and a lot of these times these leads get passed off as actual leads, right? So just because you're getting the lead information doesn't actually mean they're a lead. The company, so the homeowner might not have ever heard of your company before because they're not actually a lead. It's homeowner information. So there's a huge difference there. But some less creditable marketing agencies, which you'll be able to find them on Facebook groups, will kind of peddle these leads as actual leads when they're actually not. So agencies love to sell cold personal info as leads, or resell the same leads over and over again. I've talked about that several times on this channel, that if you're buying aged leads, or just a lead list without any guarantee of exclusivity, those leads are going to have been sold several times before your company dials them. And sure, you might get a good ROI by getting 10, 15,000 phone numbers, contact information, and passing them over to a call center, but there's way more efficient ways of doing that, right? And there's way more credible ways than just spamming 15,000 people to get, a few jobs, right? So keep that in mind, that if you're buying lead lists without any signed exclusivity agreement, that these leads are just your leads and no one else's, then you're really running this risk of, you know, peddling the same leads that 15 other solar companies have done in the last month. Okay. And I mean, these leads could have been called for years, right? Because there's no way to determine when an actual lead was generated if you don't have access to that back data, right? The back end data. So did they qualify the leads in any way before handing them over? And this is quite important, because supposedly they did, but this person thinks they likely didn't, right? So if you're getting these lead lists and no one's answering, or no one knows who you are, or the email bounces or anything like that, the lead list hasn't been scrubbed, because no matter what ads you run, people will mistype their information. You'll always get those, the people that don't actually care, that just enter their information to see the back end of the funnel. You'll get other solar companies doing the same thing as competitor analysis and research, right? So they'll enter fake information whether they mean to or not, but you need to be able to call those leads to make sure that the phone number is real, right? You need to at least let it ring and have someone pick up, right? So if you're buying these lead lists, you need to ask the lead gen agency, how do you qualify these leads? And actually get that in writing. And so you've got something to fall back on. And like, hey, you said you were going to call and email these leads. No one's picking up. All these emails are bouncing. What's going on? Because if you do a proper process of scrubbing lead lists, you will have a really high strike rate of the leads that get through. But the reason why agencies won't scrub these leads is because you'll pay per lead, right? And that's the downside of paying per lead, because these companies know that you're going to pay per lead. So why would they scrub the bad leads out if you're going to pay for them, right? And not every lead gen agency is like this, but keep in mind that if you don't have this agreement in place, if you don't have this in writing to hold them accountable, chances are that you're going to have a bad experience, because it's very, very common. So that's the end of the video, but I'd love to know what you think about lead lists. Have you had the same experiences as this person, or have you had good experiences? Because there are good lead list sellers out there. Myself, I do marketing predominantly for SEO, for solar companies, so SEO, Google Ads, Facebook ads. And what I do is then we route those leads through your website. We ask them qualifying questions. So like, what's your average power bill? Send me pictures of your panels, so we know that you've got a qualified lead, a pre-qualified lead that meets certain standards before you touch them, before you get on the call, before you even waste your time trying to get in touch with someone that is not qualified for solar, has no interest in solar, and just in general a bad fit for solar installations, right? So if you're tired of wasting time and money with low quality leads, get in touch, book a call. I'll show you exactly how we do the process of generating exclusive leads from Google, and that is guaranteed. I do have a guarantee in place, written in a legal contract, a legally binding contract. I'll show you exactly how I do this for all my solar companies, all my solar clients around the globe. So no matter where you are, if you want exclusive solar leads, they're not being resold. They're not, they're not unqualified leads. They're not people, tire kickers, just don't care about solar, just bored on Facebook. If you actually want exclusivity, you want sustainability in your lead, and you want consistency, then get in touch today and book a call. And I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.